Tonight on KGW News, a deadly outcome for a man suspected in a racist attack on an Oregon Coast street vendor.
He was terrorizing our community for quite some time.
Then new at 11, the search for answers in a crime officials call horrific. Why authorities are looking for witnesses after a woman they say dragged a horse behind her truck. Plus, how deputies caught up with a suspected burglar who tried to escape via the roof.
And it's a sellout crowd for the Portland Cascades home opener.
It's really great. It feels very happy and fun.
But we begin tonight with a breaking news update on a deadly crash involving a motorcycle, one that had northbound I-5 closed for hours, making for a tough evening drive for so many. In the past 20 minutes or so, the highway finally reopening after authorities wrapped up their investigation near North Lombard. That's where we find KGW's Alma McCarty with more on what sparked this right in the middle of the evening rush. Alma.
David, this crash just north of North Lombard on the interstate had the interstate shut down, the northbound lanes, for several hours between here and North Columbia Boulevard. Obviously a real traffic nightmare for anybody who is trying to get through this area. But as you can see behind me, the road is now open. Both sides of the interstate traffic moving smoothly. And the investigation, though, into this crash does continue. Now, Portland police were the first notified about this crash around 5 this evening between a motorcycle and a car. PPB says bystanders attempted to save the motorcyclist's life, but EMS pronounced them dead at the scene. No one else was hurt, and the driver involved stuck around and is cooperating with police. The major crash team closed off this section of the interstate to investigate, leading to, again, some of those big traffic delays for folks heading north out of the city. While southbound lanes passed by the scene with ease, drivers on I-5 northbound were forced to take the exit onto North Lombard Street and find another way. We stopped by a gas station along that detour route.
I figured now would be the time to come get gas, but as I was approaching westbound on Lombard, I saw the overpass was I-5 was completely closed, and now getting back home is going to be pretty hectic.
Oh my gosh, it's been crazy ever since it happened. People have been coming in here asking about which way to go and what happened and everything like that. And so one customer came in and told me what had happened, that the motorcyclist went right past him 90 miles per hour.
At this time, investigators have not shared whether speed was a factor. And again, this investigation into the crash continues. But I can tell you that as of 30 minutes ago, the road now, the interstate I-5 is reopened with both lanes moving smoothly. David, back to you.
That's Alma McCarty in North Portland on the breaking news there. Thank you, Alma.
What is this?
He was terrorizing our community for quite some time.
Illegals!
Lincoln City Police have confirmed the man accused of attacking a fruit stand owner last week was killed by authorities yesterday. They say 49-year-old Daniel Noonan opened fire on officers from State Police and Newport Police when they went to arrest him, and officers fired back, killing him. The original incident here was near Highway 101 and 229, where witnesses say Noonan knocked over the produce stand and yelled racist comments at the operator. Witness says he confronted the suspect and noted Noonan had a gun on him at the time.
He was being very racist. I mean, on top of it, I've never ever in my life heard anybody talk like that. I stepped up because I thought that was the right thing to do, and I was there at the time and moment.
The officers that shot Noonan are now on administrative leave. No one else was injured. A man who pleaded guilty to trying to sexually assault a woman in her Southeast Portland home has now been sentenced to 22 years in prison. 43-year-old Judson DeFeer pleaded guilty to several charges, including attempted rape, kidnapping, and sexual abuse. In March, the survivor told investigators she was upstairs with her 3-year-old and 10-month-old when she heard someone enter the house. DeFeer attacked and tried to sexually assault her, but the mother managed to get away and to barricade herself in another room where she called for help. She addressed her attacker in court today.
You had a smile on your face as you attacked me. You smiled as my 3-year-old daughter screamed for her mommy and watched as you ripped her baby sister and mother away from her and proceeded to sexually assault me in front of her.
Investigators said DeFeer had also inappropriately touched a woman inside a nearby church and groped 2 other women shortly before the attempted assault. Thinking of the survivor and the kids, right? A reminder, if you or someone you know is a sexual assault survivor, help is available 24/7. One resource, the National Sexual Assault Hotline. The number is 800-656-4673. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, wild video in Washington County where a man tried to escape by running onto the roof of a home Wednesday after he was accused of trying to break into another house. A 911 caller in the Bethany neighborhood said they found the window screens removed and a strange man in their backyard. Never a good sign. Then one of the homeowners tried to chase the man, says he attacked him, took his keys and ran, and a drone got 20-year-old Fabian Rincon, police say, running across a roof, jumping fences, and running through a home. Eventually, he was captured by deputies and taken to jail. New tonight, a deeply troubling case of animal abuse in Columbia County where the sheriff's office says a woman dragged a horse behind this truck. This was along Hazel Grove Road in Clatskanie on or around June 2nd. Injuries were so severe, authorities say the horse had to be euthanized. Deputies did arrest a suspect, Joe Marie Westland, who now faces several charges, including aggravated animal abuse and neglect. The sheriff's office is asking any witnesses to please come forward. To Salem now, where a grand jury has cleared a police officer who shot and wounded a man last week. The grand jury says Sergeant Jason Donner was justified in shooting Jose Luis Aguiano near a homeless camp off Portland Road Northeast. He is accused of holding a woman at gunpoint inside a tent. Officers say the suspect pointed what appeared to be a handgun at them before the sergeant fired 3 rounds. That weapon turned out to be an air pistol. Aguiano survived and is now facing domestic violence charges. He's scheduled to be in court later this month. And the federal government is reversing course on a plan to dismantle nearly 1,000 ocean monitoring sensors. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley, a Democrat, and Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski, a Republican, making that announcement after the Senate passed a bill to pause the dismantling of buoys, which provide real-time data to fisheries, weather forecasters, and climate change researchers. Well, let's switch to a live look over the Rose City on this Thursday night, Friday Eve, as we like to say around here, as we make a beeline for the summer solstice. Matt's here with us. By the way, really loving those late sunsets. What are you watching tonight?
You know, it's just a great Thursday night. We've got a clear sky for the most part, warm temperatures, 67 degrees in Salem right now. And we look at the high temperatures we had today, 85 in Portland, 84 in Scappoose, 83 in Aurora. We had some hot weather down in Southern Oregon and out in the Dalles, but it's going to get even warmer tomorrow as Portland ends up about 5 degrees warmer tomorrow. We'll shoot for about 90 degrees. Interesting day, though. Yesterday, clear blue sky, not a cloud to be found. Today, clouds were found. They were moving across the Portland area like this, and they tried to drop some rain out there. In fact, Doppler radar still showing a few returns here and there, but none of that is reaching the ground because the low-level air mass is so very, very dry. So that was all Virgo, which is the name of rain that evaporates before it reaches the ground. Tomorrow morning, partly sunny as we have just a few leftover high clouds. Then it becomes mostly sunny. We get up to 90 tomorrow. So we warm up tomorrow, we cool down again for the weekend, and then another warm up after that, David.
A little bit of a roller coaster there. Thanks.
So do you believe county leaders are prioritizing spending appropriately?
No, absolutely not.
All right, that's a withering criticism from Multnomah County DA Nathan Vasquez after learning the county is spending millions on services for people who have committed crimes. This comes as the DA's office faces some $3 million in cuts, which means they could lose 19 staff members. Records obtained by KGW show that since 2020, Multnomah County's Department of Community Justice has spent more than $2.8 million on services to help people released from jail. Vasquez telling my colleague Blair Best here that number raises a lot of questions around priorities.
Were you aware that the county was providing this level of financial assistance to people coming out of custody?
I was not. I mean, I expect that there may be some minor amounts that would come with, hey, this person needs a TriMet ticket to get back to here or there. But when I was made aware of those numbers, I was pretty shocked.
The county points to national research that shows investing in basic needs like housing assistance reduces reoffenses. Vasquez says he plans to meet with county leaders to raise those concerns. To a major development for one of Oregon's biggest employers, and it's news that President Trump broke this morning. Apple has agreed to work with Intel to design and build chips in the United States. Now, Intel shows soaring 10% on the news, which the president posted on Truth Social. Apple largely makes its chips in Taiwan, by the way, though it started to make some back in the U.S. We spoke with a local economist who called it a positive development for Intel and our region.
With Apple partnering with Intel, it guarantees Intel a steady stream of demand for their manufactured chips, and Apple is going to probably design new ones for them, and they're going to manufacture them, etc. And for Apple, it's of course diversifying their source of microchips.
Intel had no comment. Perhaps the share price does that, and Apple didn't get back to us. Well, speaking of big business, or perhaps a big demand, burger chain In-N-Out, has landed in Hillsborough. Some people even camped out, arriving as early as 9:30 last night to be some of the first inside the newest location in the Tanasbourne Town Center, all in the hope of scoring the famous burgers and perhaps some animal fries.
Oh yeah, it's been great. We got here last night and we were just super excited. We kind of spontaneous moment thing, you know. We just grabbed some sleeping bags, some sleeping pads, and camped out under a table over there, and it was.
I guess it was dry, right? And warm-ish. Some of the first people in line got some freebies, including a coin and a gift card. Other In-N-Outs have opened recently across the Columbia, in Vancouver and Ridgefield.